Det er den der. Skal vi prøve at vælge? Det er... Hvor er den henne? Hvorfor kan jeg ikke se den?
Jo, jeg har den.
Ja, den der. Sejt.
У тебя микрофон не работает.
Ебанство ебаное.
А, нет, работает.
Это Б.
Сайт лост. Налево убежал.
Ja, den er mega sej. Ja, det er ikke fars. Det er en fars.
Диффусь.
Ja, jeg vil også have den. Man skal jo spille for at få den.
Сюда. Я тебя уже сам боюсь уже сейчас на зеленый.
Почему?
Это страшно.
Бегут.
А, бегут, да.
Ебать, стоят трое.
Трое? Окей.
Вроде...
Идут, да.
Сайт.
Ja, men nu er jeg død.
Жесткие типы, жесткие. Давайте не пикать их, пожалуйста.
Б вроде будет.
Медведь.
Прибегают уже.
На Б.
Det er ikke min.
Ой-ой-ой.
Найс. Сайт лост. Найс.
Бля, фиолетовый. Лайк тебе. Пиздец, это было красиво. Все, лови лайк. И там у тебя с микрофоном хуйня какая-то.
Ебаная залупа, блин. Спасибо, говорю.
Спасибо, ебаная залупа. Ну ладно.
Купил наушники в ДНС, блин, за 300 гривен.
Красиво было. Вообще, я кайфанул.
А, есть.
Мид
Не
что-то
знаю
есть.
сколько.
Один мид.
Шорт мог пройти? Фиолетовый.
Не-не-не.
Окей.
Чисто.
Каленый за белой хуйней. На Б.
Слушай, я... А, у нас пода есть. Это где? Это мид?
Да, мид.
Ja, det er fordi jeg er inde i det her spil, men
Найс.
jeg er inde i et forkert spil, ja.
А, бегут.
Пода есть. Шорт вышел. 10 хп.
Убежал, что ли?
Походу. Уйдите кто-то под Б. Дом петлю. Пачка мид.
Что у вас мид?
Мид.
Nej, jeg er ikke.
Ой, ебать, я косой. Минус 40.
Ja, jeg er ikke i samme spil.
Он пачку забрал. Будет идти сейчас куда. В миду, по-моему.
Jo,
Оранжевый, спрячься где-нибудь.
Да, пошел.
Ой-ой-ой, хорош. Блять! Хорош, хорош. Обидно.
ja, ja, det er rigtigt. Men det er ligesom, du siger.
Могу фомас дропнуть. Или две башки.
Det er derfor, man lige skal være stille en gang imellem.
Надо кому?
Jo, det er så.
Да нет, не надо.
Dagen så
Видимо, нет.
stille. Ej, nu kommer der få en minuts bøffer igen for 5 kroner. Vi fik stadigvæk ikke købt nogen. Det er uheldigt. Det er sgu uheldigt.
Нет. Два лоу.
Димит.
Почти.
Второй раз не
Еще
получилось.
лоу один.
Да, юг.
Ласт лоу.
Да, блядь.
Да.
Патроны.
Фиолетовый ты руфер, конечно, жесткий.
Нет, здесь не надо было тебе рисковать, конечно. Ну ладно. Ну, вот чуть нормально.
Пота вроде есть, не уверен. Хорош. Не пикайся, да нормально уже сделал.
Минус 90.
Мид?
Да, мид. Там двое на миду. Один минус 40.
Б двое вроде как.
Oh my god, it's died in 5 minutes.
Мид,
NiCad
например,
is
и потом
not the
в фон
same as
зайдем.
lithium-based batteries. And the other interesting thing that's happening now is we're seeing more LFP batteries coming in, which LFP stands for
А
lithium
не хотел
ion,
бы?
not
Флешку
ion
накину.
as in ION,
Зайдем.
lithium
Ну,
ion
давай.
phosphate, and
Побежали
those
тогда.
batteries are more stable and they last longer. So LFP batteries, technology is
Nice,
always
nice.
improving,
Yeah.
and as I say,
За
LFP
этими.
batteries or cars with LFP
Еще был
batteries
вроде.
are never step
Нет,
forward.
показалось.
Now, in terms of when you come to replace one of these, they aren't cheap things.
За колоннами убил.
У вас здесь, у меня у вас.
So, I mean, what kind of, you know, for us, I guess it depends on the size of the battery pack in a car in the
Нас
first
чел не
place.
убил в спину
If
просто.
you're buying it from the manufacturer, it's a big amount of money. But that's not something that the average person who buys an electric car is going to have to worry about for quite a while, right?
And this is something that runs into
Джереми, как
warranty
близко
periods.
Форца
So
показался.
electric cars have quite a long warranty period. Why?
Откуда денег
Because
столько?
there's nothing really that goes wrong in the motors, really.
знаю.
You know, compared to all the thousands of moving parts in a petrol and diesel car, for instance. So they know they can warranty that
У
drivetrain
них какая-то.
to the,
Будут
you know,
близко везде
the end
стоять.
range. And the battery packs are actually lasting a lot longer than people initially thought.
Ну, 11
Back
сколько-то.
like 10 years ago, for instance, or even 7 years ago, it lasted a lot longer. So
Запушил
you're
бы.
getting 8-year warranty periods and things like that, which is, you know, you wouldn't normally see that in, you know, petrol and diesel land.
No.
But yeah, after, you know, I don't know, 300,000 whatever miles, at some point you're going to say, oh, my battery is now at 70%
Пачка
what it used to
снизится
be.
еще.
And
О, бля, да, я думал,
drive, that might still be
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, yeah,
But at
sure.
some point, you might say, you know what,
Один лоу
this
какой
battery has had it I'm going to replace it. And at that point, then yes, there's going to be a big chunk of change you're going to be forking out to change your battery. Why? Because it's the main part of the car.
Yeah.
It's your main. It's like replacing a roof on your house.
Yeah.
You know, at some point, you're going to probably have to replace the roof, and it's going to be very expensive. But it's going to be a long way out.
Yeah. Like refactoring
Всё
your
время
cottage.
ходит.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Я не знаю, надеюсь,
So yeah, there is a big chunk of change that you'll need way into the distance to replace that battery pack. And you can either replace it with a good second-hand one. For instance, if your old car
Усложнение в игру.
went pop,
Yeah.
would you go to Jaguar and get a brand spanking new Jaguar engine to put in it?
Yeah.
Probably not. You'd probably go to a specialist that does reconditioned engines, or maybe even buy a second-hand engine off eBay.
Yeah.
You do the same with electric.
Yeah.
So you don't need to go back to Jaguar to buy a brand spanking new battery
Не
pack
угадал
to put in your iPhone.
сторону.
So.
Cool. Okay. So
Actually, one more thing on that, interestingly enough, I
Что
had
за
a
5
conversation
углов
with a
под Б?
company that when you
такое
get
просто
bad
начало
battery
первого?
kits, we
Что сказал?
repurpose some
Давай.
batteries like Tesla batteries, for instance,
Yeah.
and VW ID
Yep.
4 batteries, just in that pack there. And sometimes you get them in, and through quality assurance tests that we do, some are not usable, so then you have to get rid of them. So we have a
Да,
company
горим.
where we send the batteries to that we cycle batteries. And I had an interesting conversation with a guy a couple of weeks ago and said, how's it going? Not brilliant, he said. Because they
Лох
can't
по
get
8,
any
8
battery.
it's got nothing to recycle.
That's how good batteries are, he was saying. It's like, the downside of batteries being, so
Слушать
good and
будут.
like they're struggling to get second-hand batteries.
Я хотел
So,
набрать, но
just
что-то
a
слишком
side
быстро
note there
бежал.
that, batteries can be recycled, by the way. If anybody is going, oh, they can't be recycled. Oh, yes,
Так,
they can.
эко
And there's companies out there.
Поздно.
But yeah, just an interesting conversation I had with that company last week.
So so then let's talk about how we kind of maybe help with the health of the battery.
Давайте
in terms
аккуратно
of best
сыграем.
practice
От
for
кило.
Давай.
the
Опа,
next
давайте.
comment I get is, if you use rapid chargers,
Yeah.
so rapid DC charging, that's damaging to the battery. You should never charge a battery up to
Побежали его
100%.
давить.
That's damaging to the battery.
Damaging is
За бетоном аккуратно.
too aggressive word to
Сзади
use.
бежит один, сзади
Okay,
бежит.
if you want,
Чекайте спину.
bear in mind, a manufacturer wouldn't allow you to do something called damage battery. Battery systems on these battery packs will prevent you
Убил двое
from
сзади.
damaging the battery.
Может,
But
побежали
there are
там?
ways, say,
Пошли, пошли.
if you wanted to elongate the life cycle of an engine, don't redline it every time you
Чисто по
change
идее.
gear.
Yeah.
It's things like that, basically.
Yeah.
So redlining it every time you change gear is
Будет,
probably
скорее
going to bring
всего,
that
один.
life cycle of
Уже
your
тут
engine
подбежал,
down.
наверное.
Again with a battery pack. Don't redline it all the way to full every time you're charging it up, because it'll bring the life cycle of that battery pack down.
По-моему, на
So
это
the
сверху.
usual thing that people say is keep it within
Хорош.
the 20%, 80% range. If you keep it within the 20% to 80% range, you will
Отлично, Яко.
elongate
Готовы.
the lifetime of
Да,
that
у нас только
battery
один чел,
as
сука,
much
был.
as it can be.
Yeah.
And
И там,
supercharging,
по-моему,
the reason why
с пистолетом во
supercharging
второй броне был.
can bring the lifetime of a battery down, and it's not like, oh, you're going to half the lifetime. No,
Давайте так
you'll
жалко.
just bring it down. Again,
Да.
redlining
Так
an
он не
engine
топал
every
на
time you
экране,
change
не
gear
важно.
is a good example.
Yeah.
So,
But that's what you did when you were.
Чекайте.
don't go.
Ладно,
But at least I can rebuild my race engine.
да, запушил меня.
But with supercharging, what you're doing is you are putting
Еще
a load of
есть
amps in really
спина.
quickly, and therefore you're stressing the battery out. Not a huge amount, but stressing the battery out within its happy
Медусы
parameters.
еще
But the
бегают.
temperature's going up.
Yeah.
And anytime you get heat cycles in anything in life, engines, etc.
Я, походу,
anytime you
всё.
get heat cycles and stuff, you're also,
Нет, не
decreasing
всё.
the
Пожалуй,
life cycle
давайте
of that battery.
постенимся.
So if you really
планте.
want to,
Планте?
get
Окей.
a million miles out of a battery pack, charge it up at home on a 7 kilowatt charger, within 20% and 80%,
Хорошая
you'll
пища.
find that your lifetime of
Нахаване
that
был.
battery is way longer than you'd expect.
And most home chargers and or cars have the ability to set criteria as to what percentage you're going to charge the car up to.
Oh, yeah,
So you don't. It's not like you have to guess and run out and unplug it at 80. You just tell the car, don't charge beyond 80%. or
Most
whatever
cars
it might
have that feature as well, and also a lot of smart chargers.
be. Yeah.
I
The one I
charge up.
plugged into today did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, my
Has an
home
80% button.
my home charger is an Ohmi charger, and in that I can set it to only charge up at night time on a cheap tariff. So I'm charging up now. Last year it was 5 pence per kilowatt hour, which is insanely cheap.
Yeah.
And now I think it's gone up to an insanely massive 7.5 pence per kilowatt hour. So I'm charging up my car 7.5 pence per kilowatt hour.
Yeah.
And also my
Take
house
out all your
is good enough batteries. So all my
Давайте
house
я
and
просто
cars
кину.
are charged up, between that time. Which my electricity graph is like it's hilarious. Because there's nothing, and at midnight it goes, and then at 4:30 in the morning it goes to nothing, and then it's off.
Yeah.
It's the
Pump
weirdest
push it.
like graph you'll ever see.
So let's do the 20 to 80% thing as well. So when you're on a journey, I wanted to not bust a myth, but explain, and I've explained this on videos before, but you do it way better than I do, that first 20% and the last 20% of the charge takes longer than the middle 60%.
Correct. Yeah.
Explain why and what the... So when I'm driving home tonight, the quickest way for me to get home, if I need to charge, is to just charge 20 to 80%, get on my way, then get to the next 20 to 80%, get on my way, rather than sitting there till I get to 100%.
So the best way to describe it, right? So imagine a barrel of water that you've got to fill up.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as it gets to the top, okay, and you've got a fireman hose to fill it up.
Yeah.
Okay. But you're not allowed to spill any water over the top when it gets to full. So you'll start off with like loads of like water, full thing, and then as it gets to about 80%, you're getting up to the top now. Bear in mind you're not allowed to spill it, which means in voltage world you don't want it to go over a certain voltage in the cells. So you'll say, oh, hang on, turn it down a bit, we get to the top, turn it down, oh, it's getting really good, stop now, turn it down a bit more, turn it down. So that means that up to 80%, it's really quick, and at 80 to 100% it starts getting slower. So when you're supercharging, don't sit there thinking, oh, I'm going to wait till it's 100%. So you'll get to 80% really quickly, and then it'll start to slow down. Once you get to 80%, 85%, get on your way again.
Yeah.
So you only want to get it to 100% the night before. When you about to go on the next day, stick it on the home charger, set it to 100%, and by the time you wake up, it's good to go. Never get it to 100%.
On the way up yesterday, I sat on a decent charger at 100%. One, because it only took less than an hour, and that's how long I thought. And also on the other side, I wasn't going to be able to charge last night, so there were reasons why I went to 100%. But otherwise, anyway.
Exactly. And people say don't go to 0%, which again, just for the reasons I've already explained, it's never a good idea to go to down to 0%, but you can, no problem at all. And I've done it many times. I've gone below 0%.
I was going to say, a lot of cars, I did a thing with Toyota earlier this year, and when it says 0, it's still got 10%.
Just like the fuel gauge.
Yeah, there's still a bunch of stuff in there.
When we were in college, all those years ago, mate.
Yeah, mate, when you could fill your car up for 10 quid.
Oh, God, yeah. I used to fill my car up, for literally about 10 quid and drive all the way to Wales. On 10 quid. It's insane. But anyway, back when things were black and white, we were in university.
By the way, we were at university together. If you've not heard that story, but anyway, I won't bore you with it. This video is way longer than I was planning it to be, but the last very quick point is the final thing you get is, what about the maintenance? What about motors? When they fail, they're going to be loads of money to replace.
One of the benefits of converting classic cars to electric is you can use them as daily drivers because there's no maintenance. Reliability is like 100%. Maintenance is literally 0. But that's the thing, with electric motors, there is so little maintenance, and that's a massive saving.
Yeah.
If I had a BMW or a Mercedes or whatever for those 3 years, think how much money I would have had to have spent on servicing it.
Yeah.
There's 2 moving parts, or very few moving parts in an electric motor, compared to an internal combustion engine that probably has 1,000 moving parts with lubrication, filters to change, belts to change, oil changes, heat cycles, all that's going on. Electric motor, electromagnetism, bit of spinny spin, and 2 bearings.
That's a good description to finish with. Electromagnet, a bit of spinny spin.
A bit of spinny spin.
Spinny spin, that's
or
technical.
spinach, as we call
it. Spinny spin, technical description. There's
a stage that comes in every kit that we ship out, and we've got 3 mini kits going out over there, 2 to the States, 1 to Australia. Yeah. And there's always the spinach moment. It's like Popeye.
Yeah.
We got spinach! Yay! That's when you spin the motor up for the first time and everything works.
Amazing, amazing. Mate, thank you for busting myths.
That's right, I'll
It's always-
bust myth all day for you, but I'm pretty sure that everybody would have switched off.
No, honestly, it's you can go back in the comments and you go, that's not right, but, and I'm sure there will still be people who kind of go, oh, you're not right there. Well, it's just fact.
As a coverall,
Yeah.
what I normally say to anybody is don't listen to people with opinion, listen to people with experience.
Yeah.
So anybody out there that says, oh, this, that, and the other about electric cars, most of them don't have an electric car.
Yeah.
So if anybody's considering driving an electric car, don't listen to everybody that has an opinion. Go and speak to people that have an electric car. And there's enough people out there that have electric cars.
Yeah.
So, talk to people with experience rather than opinion. That's why
why I drove to Wales, mate, because you're the most experienced person I know.
there you go. And I always have an opinion.
Oh yeah, big style. Anyway, big thanks to Moggy for giving me his time. Head over to Electric Classic Cars, give them a sub on YouTube because they do some ridiculous things here. There are some unbelievable. I can see a Jensen Interceptor. I can see your ridiculous car over there.
Yeah.
Your Funk Up car.
This is what I'm in this weekend. Nobody can see what we're pointing at.
No,
now.
I'll
It's
put some
funny.
B-roll over that camper van.
The camper van,
Yeah.
four-wheel drive synchro, and taking that out this
There's
weekend.
a Tesla Rossa over there.
Yeah, there's two.
There's two. There's another one over there. There's your mega.
So-
Mega. Anyway, if you enjoyed that, give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Pet.
I was simply saying, Tony, is what you said. I don't think any man who really gives a crap about, like, why would a man, alpha or not, bring up some bullshit emails, fan mails from trolls who want to F me but could never have the chance. So, like, that, what your point, that was my point.
I mean, you
like,
could just
a
ask
real
me.
man,
You could say, like, why would you? I don't know why you keep doing this real man shit. Like, I'm looking for, like, masculine validation from you.
I just think
I have
that-
no idea who you are. Why do you think I would care about this? But you could just ask me, Destiny, why would you bring this up? And my answer
Well,
is
I
going to
think-
be because in the course of our conversation, I feel like you say things that are not only untrue, but are incredibly harmful. And I'm worried that somebody might take some of the crazy things you've said about sex or some of the crazy things you've said about women's bodies or whatever
Well,
to heart.
let's
So
hear
I
what
have to
those
find, like,
are. I like
yeah.
to know.
Let-
Can
well,
I
let
know
me-
what those are?
yeah, well,
What are
let
those
me just
crazy
start.
things you said?
Let's let
Let
Janelle
me-
respond.
let me-
Let's let
let him
Janelle,
finish,
guys.
Janelle.
Let's let
Okay.
Janelle respond, and
Okay.
then we'll move it towards.
Okay.
Yeah, let him answer. Let him talk.
Well, let me respond to
Destiny. What are the? Hold on, Janelle.
Tony, wait. We'll get there. I promise. That's gonna be the next
Janelle,
thing.
what
But
are the crazy things that she said?
We'll have him answer that right after that. But he did talk about Janelle. She's entitled to respond. Right after that, he will outline those things. Go ahead, Janelle.
Yeah, I just think that, it's very cute for you to say all the things you said about me and without even knowing the facts. If you had the opportunity to read a bunch of emails from trolls who want to sleep with me but would never have the chance, you could have at least done some research on my business and what I do and how many hundreds of thousands of couples and marriages I've saved who were on the brink of divorce. And the fact that you're not properly educated on sex and the body because you're a gamer.
Hundreds
What
of
are-
thousands of
Yeah,
marriages.
hold on.
You could at least
hold
pick
on.
a realistic number, but go ahead.
Hold on. Let me keep going.
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
just because that your reach is that you teach a bunch of nerds in their basements how to be better at gaming, and that's what you do,
Mhm.
doesn't mean that what I do, where I actually help people heal from sexual trauma, get over issues like PE, ED, inorgasmic women. People come to my marriage or my retreats on the verge of divorce, and I save their marriage. Like, these are the real facts, and if you actually did your homework, you would learn that. But instead, you sit in your basement and teach a bunch of nerds who can't get laid how to be better at gaming, and you think you're so cool. Like, this is just like
I am very cool.
silliness to
Thank
me.
you. I agree.
I
am
mean,
cool.
what are you really doing to offer the world? You're just making more simps in the world.
Making more
Okay.
simps.
We
You're just
gotta
picking
let
a
Destiny
random
respond to
word.
all that.
Well, I think Tony's question was, what were some of the things that she was saying that I thought were really
he
helpful
didn't want to
crazy?
answer that one. That's funny.
Wait, you didn't ask me a
think
question.
that's-
Wait, what is the
I
question?
said,
am
what
I
are you
for the
doing?
world?
What are you doing for the world other than creating more simps and more people who live in their
what I
basements
do,
plan their
my
games?
goal on the internet is I feel like my process of arriving at political truths or political knowledge is grounded in a very healthy philosophical epistemic view of the world, and I want to share that thought process with other people. So when people engage with media or when people engage with politics, they do it with a more critical lens, because I feel like right now those types of voices are really absent from political landscapes. That's what I do in the world. So that might involve investing
and put down single mothers.
Wait, hang on.
I don't care if you're black, trans, a single mom, a double mom. None of that matters.
BS.
If you say something,
BS.
Okay.
You don't even tag me on our videos that I come on, being the woman, being the underdog, having the least amount of followers. You don't even tag me, yet you tag a white male.
Honey, I don't know why you keep asking about you being a woman or single mom. None of that has anything to do with anything.
Because you tagged Alex. I come on your platforms for free. You guys get to make money and cash and all the stuff you do. You're getting paid.
Charge an appearance fee. I don't do my.
No, I'm just saying, like, you tagged Alex. Why was it not important to tag me?
If he didn't tag you, it's probably because he felt like you don't have enough presence in YouTube algorithm. I don't run my YouTube channel, dear.
Well,
just like you probably haven't typed every single word on your website. Other people work for us.
I asked Alex to have you tag it.
Oh, wait, that's my bad. I forgot to communicate.
Exactly. All right, Tony. With this, I'm going to leave you guys.
No, let me ask you. Why are you?
No. You guys enjoy. I don't need to be here. I don't need to be here.
She has hundreds of thousands of marriages to save.
No, okay. I see you don't value me as a woman. I can't even get.
No, I don't value you as a person. It has something to do with you being a woman.
I'm not going to let white men profit over me. I'm not going to let white, overprivileged men who've never had a hard day of work in their life profit.
Never had a hard day of work in your life. Black or yellow or green. You said you went to work in Thailand at 18. What are you talking about?
I asked Alex. I asked him.
I forgot. I meant to do it. I have like a million things on my plate.
I forgot. Exactly. You have a million things on your plate, but you sure as hell had enough opportunity to set out this, because you know Tony's famous and you wanted your channel to be boosted because Tony has way more following than both of y'all put together.
Well, what does that have to do with anything? Can we talk about the debate here?
I think we get back to the actual.
This is the problem.
I'm just a normal guy. I just want to.
Let's get back to the initial debate proposition.
They're using me, and I don't want to be used. So have your team tag me, please. Thank you.
Janelle, you're the one that messaged me saying.
Do not tag her. Do not tag her in this video.
You reached out to me about this debate.
All right. Bye, Alex. I heard what Dustin
You only get tagged if you're in at least 45% of the video.
Janelle,
I did 2 other videos with you.
He messaged me saying, "Hey, can you set up this debate?" How the fuck why did you set up this debate? It's like, dude.
And Janelle, I asked you. Yes.
Hold on. Can everybody just stop for 1 minute? 1 minute, please.
Go ahead.
I'll listen to the only man here, Tony. I got you.
No, I'm not an only man. I think let's. Okay, hold on. I'm going to speak very logically, and Janelle, I don't want you to get upset at me because I'm being very honest, and my honesty can upset a lot of people, and because I'm honest, and I disagree with my mother, and I don't talk to my sister because I'm an honest person. Okay, so I'm going to be very honest. Okay, so you guys got to listen to me. Okay, for 1 second. First of all, I'm coming on here as a regular person, and I'm trying to be helpful to everyone. That's number one. Number two, I think you're a great person. You have a good heart, Janelle. You say a lot of, I as a person, I think you're a good person. Now, with that said, I think a lot of the things that you brought up today are really irrelevant for the whole debate and the conversations that you guys are having. I think a lot of things are irrelevant. I think there are some things that, I don't even like hearing, like you guys are white people, whether they're white, black, yellow, or green, those are all irrelevant. I think as a mature people, those things should not be talked about. I don't think it's right to talk like this. You guys are having a debate. You guys are disagreeing on things. You guys are both entitled to your opinions. I think you are very hurt because Destiny has said some things about your career. However, you can defend yourself here now, and you can sit there and talk to him in a mature way without using anything, all these different words, and explain to him some of your ways of helping people, and maybe you can make him understand better so that instead of him having an opinion about you that is negative, that could be more positive. I think in general, humans. opinions should always focus on the positive things rather than attacking one another. Okay. Now, after doing that, if you guys still disagree, then you just part ways and go on. There's no reason for you guys to sit there and attack one another. But then, in the same way, I believe you both are entitled to your opinions.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
I agree with you. But the whole
So
point that I
instead of
brought
getting
up,
upset, I'm gonna leave, I'm done. No, sit there as a mature person and tell him why you believe, because this is
point again, right? So that's
no,
what I'm
saying
right?
I know this woman knows. I'm not talking about other
Yeah,
women.
but it has
I'm
nothing.
this
Whether
one
you
knows.
know about your vagina has to do with whether
It
you've
does.
researched it, not whether you have.
I
one.
have.
That's good. You having the vagina has nothing
Great.
to do with that.
Awesome. So
Thank you.
your
It is
vagina
awesome.
does
I agree.
change. It changed every single day in the month. Your uterus is in a different position from one day in the month to the end of the month. So your vagina does change. Your cervix drops. And so that's
Thank
why
you
sometimes
for walking us through the cycle. I don't know what that has to do with number of sexual partners.
You're
changing the
fixating
topic.
I'm
on
actually interested in this. I like these kind of conversations.
Can I actually kind
your
of talk?
pussy changes?
Yes, it does. This is why some guys can't find a certain spot 1 month, and then halfway through into the next month, they can't find that same spot because it changes. It's called hormones, and it's just preparing for your cycle.
Your hormone change or your pussy shape changes?
Both. The hormones are the one that changes, that facilitates the change.
So does it change for the better or worse?
It can be going either way. It is a muscle and it's elastic, just like your muscles. If you don't work it out. So
the one that looks like a roast beef can turn out to be like a perfect little pussy? If I don't understand. How does
not
that
unless I'm talking about internally versus externally. External
internally.
stuff.
Okay.
And that stuff is a lot more complicated, and there's really not a lot of things you can do to change the external. You can steam and things like that, which does kind of tighten it.
You're not really meaning a vagina changes. You're talking about a female's hormone within their body changes. Is that every day?
Which it does affect the actual womb inside of it. The walls. You have the walls. You have the G spot. You have the cervix. You have the O spot.
So your
you have
G spot moves around.
Correct. In conjunction.
Well, guys, I didn't know that. Did you guys know that?
In conjunction with how your cervix sits, because remember, everything is getting ready for what
so the vagina, usually the clitoris is like, let's say on the top. You're saying it'll move down?
I'm talking more about internally, less to do externally. Internal. I'm talking about the walls and the cervix and the uterus and how it's shaped, and every month your body gets prepared to drop eggs, right? So the uterine wall sheds. Now in the course of that time, you have the FH phase, the luteal phase. You have all these different phases that your body goes through to prepare to
When is the tight phase? I want to know when I'm sleeping with girls.
Well, this is what I was referring to. I was saying, there's a lot of things you can do to
be
keep
clear,
that
this is you're just lying now. This is not what we were referring to.
Yes, we were. You let me finish my thought.
Okay.
I said how you can tighten it and how you can make that area more real. Most women aren't experiencing orgasm inside of the vagina. They're only experiencing clitoral. This is modern sexology. So how we get women to start experience orgasms internally is we work with the vaginal walls, toning and tightening that area. Your vagina, your yoni is a muscle. It atrophies just like if you don't work out, that muscle atrophies. And that's what I was referring to, that women do have to do work to keep those muscles strong, ultimately to save and protect your uterus, more importantly, because that is the number one.
Destiny, how do you disagree with that?
In terms of the lengthening and the contracting of the internal vagina in response to hormone cycles during periods or your entire ovulation cycle, I wouldn't disagree with that because that's true. I know that's true. But that wasn't what the conversation was before. I don't have the clips, but the conversation before had to do to the fact that, or had to do with her claiming that if you have more sexual partners, it influences like the tightness of the vagina or something. That's what we initially had a big disagreement over.
No, I mean, that wasn't the whole argument. We were referring to.
I understand what you're saying, but if you were to tell me that your hormone cycle changes the inside of your vagina, I wouldn't argue. There would be no argument. That's true. Some people that do natural family planning will check the viscosity of the fluids from their vagina to try to also estimate like where they're at on their cycle. Like, yeah, of course, there's a lot of changes inside of a woman's vagina and in other places in her body. The size and shape of her boobs changes in response to hormone cycles as well. Like,
Obviously, I think there's a lot of miscommunication, and then a lot of times he'll just keep going on a tangent, and then
Excuse me, dear. Hold on.
just,
I don't. Wait,
like,
I'm sorry.
talk in
No, 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 no.
circles.
I'm not talking in circles. I just said what you said in 2 minutes in 15 seconds. Okay. You were the
Okay.
one talking in circles. I don't know why you just went on a whole diatribe about the
wasn't.
differences about the
wasn't.
inside of the vagina and testosterone hormone cycle. I would never
Because
disagree
Tony
with that.
asked me. Tony asked me.
Tony
that's
asked
why.
you what our disagreements are, but we never disagreed on that.
No, when we were talking about, he said, explain it. And then I went on to say what happens. And you said, oh, does it really change in size and shape? I said, absolutely. So a lot of this is just like, a waste of energy.
I love you guys
time.
both, but can you guys just answer my most important question? What day do I fuck this girl with the tight pussy? That's what I want to know. I mean, that's what I'm more interested in.
Assuming you
guys are telling me there's like
experienced.
days and cycles. Okay, so what day's best to have sex?
The day that she's the most turned on, assuming that you're sexually experienced with your partner, you know what they enjoy. I don't think that the cycle that they're on is going to make a significant difference in their period and their ability to reach orgasm.
Well, it does, because there's so many things that are. There's just so many things that are affecting women.
Explain it to us so we learn.
Well, first of all, the number one thing is trauma. Women have 1 out of every 3 or 4 women has experienced some kind of physical or sexual trauma, and the womb holds
I don't
that.
want to hear about that. I mean,
okay,
I'm sorry,
so
I think that's the part. That's the part where I come in, because I think that's just an issue that it's like a Me Too thing. You're like, I can't agree with that. So
fair enough, but that's the first
move
thing.
on to the next one.
Well, wait. That's not fair enough. If a woman is carrying a lot of trauma with her, of course, that's going to influence her ability to be. I think probably the most important part of a woman's sexual experience is how comfortable she's feeling at that particular point in time. And things like trauma can severely reduce a person's comfort. So that is probably a really important thing to keep in mind. I don't think you can just blow past
I agree with you on that, 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, okay, so that was my first point. That's the number one thing. You have to just see what's going on. And a lot of women, they won't share that stuff right away. And then the second thing is, you have to understand that most women are prematurely penetrated. They're not actually ready for penetration. And just because she's wet doesn't mean she's ready. That's a whole nother topic. Another thing, and I actually agree with you on this, Destiny, is how comfortable she is with you. Does she feel safe with you? Does she feel like you're being present? All these things negate that. But a lot of the times, guys, it has nothing to do with you. It's her. It's her in her own head. And this is a thing that we disagreed with, which is modern sexology. I can pull up the studies right now. Women and
one
men.
second, Janelle. You keep saying modern. I'm just trying to educate myself. I always consider myself someone that's not. I always try to learn. When you say modern all the time, is there like an ancient sex thing?
I'm just saying not
what
tantra,
modern?
because most
When
people,
you say modern,
okay, I'm explaining. This is from if you were to, I went to school and I studied ancient tantric sexuality, which is more of a spiritual path. So people don't like that, especially people like Destiny, because they think it's mumbo jumbo. So I say modern sexology, meaning if you were to take research from sexologists, from doctors, from psychologists, this is the research that they have come up with, and it's called the different phases of orgasm, or not phases of orgasm, rather. It's called, oh man, it's slipping me right now, but it's basically, there's 4 steps in sex. So it's the excitation, the charging, the orgasm, and then the resolution. And this is all from psychology, not from Tantra. So that's what I mean when I say that. I'm saying you can look these things up and find it, versus this is some esoteric stuff that doesn't apply to me, which is fair enough. I understand that, Destiny. So modern sexology says that there's, women and men are orgasming and getting excited in different parts of the brain. So we have the sympathetic and parasympathetic central nervous system that affects arousal and climax for men and women differently. This was another thing that we had a disagreement on.
All right, let's let Destiny respond to that.
Well, she was just explaining stuff to him. I don't know what our.
Well, do you have any disagreements with what she just said?
I think our summary of what things were makes sense. Yeah. Modern sexology is research based, probably surveys, studies, stuff like that, as opposed to tantric or other older, more spiritual approaches to understanding sexuality. I don't think I disagree with that.
Okay, so then let's move on to the next thing that you think was harmful that she said. Tony, we can't hear you.
Oh yeah, Tony, I can't hear you.
We can't hear you, buddy. I don't know if something changed on your phone or.
Let me just text him and see.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Okay,
say we lost
I'm
you.
saying that it seems like you guys are now agreeing more on things, and there was a lot of misunderstanding, and I'm very happy to see both of you acting finally like adults and working things out. So like, why don't we continue this pattern and you guys ask each other some questions, and maybe that by the end of this he'll have either a different opinion or maybe even a stronger opinion about you.
We're gonna change Tony's name to Peacemaker Tony.
Well,
Sure.
look, you know what? I'll be honest with you. Me, I get my experience from experienced people. Okay, that's where, and I listen to more experienced people. I know Dr. Ruth and all these sexual experts, and I don't know who fucks that fucking old lady for her to be an expert into sex. You know, like I don't get it. So for me, I'm not going to listen to Dr. Ruth. I'm going to listen to a fucking major slut whore that's fucked 3,000 guys and get my experience and advice from them. So that's just me, but that's me. Okay, don't get me. You know, that's how I work.
I feel you. I feel you. All right, let's move on to the next thing that you think is harmful that Janelle said, Destiny.
I think that the center point of all of our okay. I think that the center point disagreement that we have on most things is probably the big disagreement I have with most red pillars is that when people talk about like what do men need to do, what do women need to do, rather than this viewing of like men as being super masculine and women as being super feminine, I think everybody has a lot of femininity and masculinity, and everybody needs to strike a healthy balance of both. And I think that an issue with a lot of men today has to do with like very low emotional intelligence, like stuff related to becoming more in like touch with their feminine side, and that the messaging of just telling like a normal man today that you just need to be hyper masculine to get more women, I think it's bad advice. I don't think that if you were trying to fuck a lot of women, I don't think that would be the way to do it, and I don't think it's a realistic path forward for most guys. And then same thing on the woman's side, the idea that you need to be hyper feminine and like any like red pillar people will say like don't go to school, don't be in your masculine, don't be argumentative, like let men lead all the time. Like I think relationships work best when they're a partnership and not a partnership with a hierarchy, or however Janelle is going to reframe that. They go, oh, I think they should be partnerships. I mean an actual partnership where both partners are making decisions together and both of you are like having an even say over like what's going on. Like that's the best path forward for most people.
But why? Okay, I fuck a lot of girls. I think everybody knows. You might be sick, you might call me different names. You might not agree with the way I live my life, but that's my life. I don't think anyone should tell me what to do, and neither do I tell other people who are married how to live their life. I think that's just a matter of choice. And as humans, we were brought in this earth, whether you're religious or not, but you know, even by religion, it says you came here by choice. God gave you the choice, the free choice to do what you want. And God even in Bible says he's not judging you based on your choice. Why should you? Why should Destiny sit there and judge someone who fucks a lot? Or why should I, Tony, sit there and judge Destiny for wanting to be married and have an equal half feminine, half masculine side? By all means, if it works for you, good for you.
I understand what you're saying.
It's good for me.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. The contention is that in these spaces are like dedicated to giving advice to young men. That's what the red pill space is. It's dedicated
I don't think giving
them
advice to a young man. I was given advice as all the way through as childhood, that being married and settling down with a woman and this, they're all great. And I know a lot of people who did listen, with me in that circle, and they're miserable. And I'm very, very happy not being married. I'm very, very happy doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think, Tony, I don't think we're going to disagree at all. I don't disagree with anything you're saying. But then I think the issue is that from people, and Janelle can speak for herself, I might be summarizing it unfairly. I admit that, okay? But it feels like people like Janelle are very, very, very judgmental of what feminism has done and the sexual revolution has done for young women. And she would be heavily judgmental of a woman that engages in a lot of casual premarital sex and says that people should only be having sex with one partner and that the sexual promiscuity is like destroying society.
Well, I actually agree with a lot of the things that you did say, Destiny. I only have a grievance with a few. I do believe that, and I think the main thing, but I think we'll save this for the last because it's not as relevant, is I do believe that a relationship, a successful one, where there's sexual polarity that's really strong, there should be a team partnership. But I do believe that ultimately, and you're making decisions together, absolutely. But I do still feel like there's one more dominant role in that relationship. But that's a B-side. I really want to talk more about the sexual promiscuity. So maybe Alex, you can write that down. I don't judge any woman for anything that they've done, because the Bible says, judge not lest you be judged, and let he who has not sinned cast a first stone. And if you looked me up, which I know you didn't, but I'll just tell you,
I did. I read the article you did for the Daily Mail and everything. I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I certainly have, and I think that's why I get so upset, because people can judge me, but they don't really know my story, and that's okay. I put my stuff out there so they can, and that's why I get very protective of my son, because like he's obviously like innocent in this, and so
I don't think I've attacked your son while you have attacked me and mine, but go ahead.
No, not at all. I'm just saying.
You absolutely did in the beginning of this conversation, but go ahead.
That was from a comment that you made, and we can come back to that, absolutely. But my whole point is that I don't judge anyone, because there's no place for judgment. I have a past, but I actually did something with it. You know, I have a nonprofit. I work with women who've been victims of human trafficking. I have an interview coming up with Tony Robbins. I have a TED Talk coming out. I have 2 books that I both wrote in one day. So I'm not an idiot, right? I did something with my life, okay? So that's funny. I'll send you a copy of both of them when they come out, darling.
Yeah, books. You should introduce me to the author sometime.
I actually am the author. I wrote the book myself, darling. And I had it edited. Did I have a team of editors? Absolutely. Because I'm not a writer, I'm a speaker. Anyways, so I don't pass judgment on anyone. However, do I agree with the notion that it's probably not the best idea for women to be just passing out their yoni like they're passing out their community service hours? Absolutely.
Like what you just said right there is judgment. Like the fact that you can't even say that sentence neutrally. Passing out their yoni like they passed out their community service hour. Like that, you understand that that's dripping with condescension and vitriol.
It was an analogy.
It's not an analogy. No. It's not an analogy.
Am I not allowed to use it versus saying the
I think it's wrong for you to do that, Janelle. I think it's wrong for you to you were making a great point, but then you screwed up your point by making that analogy. I think he's right on that.
Okay, well, I'll stand by what I say. I do think that that's a great way of using it. You're giving away community service hours. You're giving away your yoni. To me, it's very much so. I don't see how that doesn't go hand in hand. It's something that I don't.
May not be your yummy. I mean, it's you can't say it like. Okay.
Why can I not say that without?
Because you could say you don't believe that a woman should do something like that and give away her pureness, her purity, because women were, I grew up learning that, women have to be pure and this and that. And purity obviously is something a lot of men look for in a woman when they decide they want to settle down and marry them. And of course, when you give that purity away, you're giving a lot of your value away. You could say it like that, but giving those sort of analogies isn't really needed in a debatable.
Well, okay. Well, for me, sometimes I like to use a little bit of satire and a little bit of like humor with how I'm speaking. So I'm still going to stand beside that, because
I get it. But if you're talking professionally, what he's saying, it's not.
Or even I don't mind the analogy's fine, but just don't like proceed that with like, oh, I'm so non-judgmental. Like I use a lot of, I'm super judgmental. I make a living judging people.
Then,
But they're like, oh yeah, like I judge women that are sluts. Like that's fine. Okay, cool. Let's talk about that. But don't be like, I'm so non-judgmental. I wish women would stop handing it their pussy like their service hours. Like just do that. That's fine.
I didn't say it like that, but maybe there is some subconscious judgment. Okay, fair
that's
enough.
Fine. Okay, cool. Based. Okay, I'm cool with that. That's fine.
I'll say that. My whole point is, I'm not going to come down on someone. Just like I'm sure Tony, he has an ex-wife and he has a daughter. I'm sure he's not going to encourage his daughter to be promiscuous. Why? Because it's probably not going to serve her long term when she wants to get married and have a partner. And I'm sure you wouldn't have wanted your wife to be promiscuous either, and I'm sure she wasn't, or you.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that. You have to ask him.
Why don't you? I said my wife is promiscuous. What do you mean? Of course.
I said you. I said you, Tony.
Oh, me?
I said you.
Look, everybody has a different opinion, way of living life. What makes you happy is what makes you happy. So, I think what you're saying is just regular common sense that everyone knows. Of course, nobody wants to marry or be with a whore.
I do.
Well,
Okay,
yeah,
we get it.
and
We get that.
Destiny
Next.
doesn't agree with that.
I don't think that's not true because he just agreed with you.
Oh,
no,
I
love. I'm in an open relationship. We fuck like crazy. Okay, that's literally like it's a big part of my life. Yeah, but if I'm gonna fuck around, I want my wife.
Hold on. Now we're getting into interesting conversations that I like to be involved in. So now Destiny is in an open relationship, and I understand what open relationship means. That means other men come in, fuck your wife, and you fuck other people's girlfriends, and you guys fuck whoever, and it's an open relationship, correct?
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's other people's like girlfriends.
And that makes you happy. That makes you happy, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so now my question is, well, I have a lot of questions, but do you enjoy watching someone else fuck your wife?
If we were having like a threesome or doing like a swinger thing, maybe, but like just watching and not participating, probably not. No, but we've never done that before. But sometimes we have like threesomes and stuff. But yeah.
So if you're fucking someone else's wife while he's fucking your wife, that's enjoyable to you. But if someone else is fucking your wife, that's not enjoyable to you.
I mean, not if, like, are you like assuming I'm just like watching and doing nothing, or do you just mean like in general, or?
Oh, maybe you and him are fucking her together.
Oh, like if I was having like a male female threesome, I haven't tried it yet, but I mean, I'd be down for that. Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. By all means, that's your choice. I think it's awesome. I think you will have a long-term relationship with your wife that way. A lot of guys who do that, I think, have long-term relationships because that really works for a lot of people. And I don't think me or you, Janelle, should be judging him.
I'm not. I'm not. He's
what
cool
I
to do
as a
whatever he
male,
wants.
what I as a male, as an alpha male, be secure enough in my mind to allow my wife, or to fuck another man in front of me. No, I would fucking freak out. But that's me. But
which I think is super normal. I think that's probably most people. Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think it's a fear that a lot of I mean, you would have a million questions in your head when that comes to. But look, that works for Destiny, and hey, man, I'm all for it for you. Great.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's his thing, but that was my whole point, that he doesn't agree with that because, like he said,
wait,
he doesn't agree with.
Is she good looking?
With
I haven't seen his wife. I want to know. Is she good looking?
She's good looking. Oh yeah.
Invite me over, Destiny.
If you're ever in Miami Beach, maybe we'll hang out. All right.
Okay, so look, you guys are back to
funny.
friendship. I'm happy. You guys are friends now again. Okay. So Janelle, now Destiny, I'm going to ask you one question that I'm very curious to know the answer to. Do you still believe that her business is a scam, and if so, why?
It's just like it's got all the red flags of like scammy behavior, like Southern California, like sex education. Her backstory is just like almost bordering unbelievable, of like sex trafficked woman who fakes her own death and then joins the military and breastfeeds her kid until he's 7 and does a yoni tantric sex thing and Newport Beach. Like all of it is just like, it just feels like the most like Southern California scammy business ever. But to be fair, I could be wrong. Maybe it's all 100% legit and everything. But and then the way that she conducts herself too, like just all kind of feels very scammy to me.
Okay, and Janelle, you cannot be upset for this.
I'm not upset. I'm not upset.
Because he's not saying
I'm not upset.
He's saying he's 50-50 about it based on his opinion, and
that's totally.
I believe
that's totally
he's totally
fair.
Has that right.
It's totally fair. Listen, my story is unbelievable, and that's why I do unbelievable shit, because I've went through a lot, but I actually took my story and I did something with it, and I helped humanity. That's why I've attracted the attention of people like Tony Robbins, who personally invested in my life, in my nonprofit. We launched my nonprofit at his Business Mastery in 2018. We raised about $50,000 for Beyond Freedom. So
how much money did he invest?
He didn't invest it. It's you have to attend his seminars to understand.
I thought I just heard you say he invested in it, but it sounds like
he invested in me and the women attending his
Gotcha.
seminars.
So these types of things, she said, this is why I don't think. This is why I think she's a scammer. Yeah.
What do you mean? You can
because you just tried to write on Tony Robbins' credit by saying he invested in something. When it sounds like he said good job, good luck, and you can do it.
No, he didn't. No.
Now, hold on 1 second. He did not invest in you. He invested in his time.
No.
Because you're not saying what you want to say in a correct way, and people are assuming you're a scam artist because you're not expressing yourself correctly, and that's what he
did invest.
But
let me
no,
tell
he didn't.
You. Yes, he did.
Okay.
$10,000, $10,000 and $20,000 events that he sent me to for free, and he sent me to events for 3 years, including my survivors and my nonprofit. Thousands upon thousands.
That's not okay.
That is an investment. It is an investment. If I send someone to my retreat for free that costs me $10,000, and that's what you would pay,
how many people went to that?
So just as I got to do a heads up because I got to wait real quick. Wait.
Just 1 second.
Shit. Okay. Yeah.
How many people went to this retreat? How many thousand people went to this retreat?
There's 3 of them, or there is 3 years of me attending hundreds of thousands.
That's not answering my question. How many?
Which one? Which one? I went to multiple.
The one he invested in. How many people?
I went to 8. I went to 8 of them. That's what I'm trying to
8 of them.
you.
How many people were in these 8? Was it an exclusive one-on-one, or was it 1,000 people?
There
because
were
if
different
Drake
sizes.
gives me a ticket to go to a concert, is he investing in me?
These are his events that he charges for. I did not.
Yeah, Drake charges for his events too. Drake.
I don't know. Drake. Drake.
He invests in his. So, but if he gives me a ticket, does that mean he invested in me? I'm asking you. Am I wrong or am I fucking crazy?
No, it's an investment because you're not paying for that. I'm talking about $10,000, $20,000 events that he sent me to for free because he believed in me and my work. He doesn't do that for everyone. Everyone else paid 10, 15, business mastery.
Every single person there paid 10,000. Nobody else got a free ticket. You're the only one.
There was other survivors at certain events, but not those large ticket ones. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And you can ask any person in the Tony Robbins world; they will vouch for that. So I can show you emails from him personally, from his assistant, from his PA. So you can say whatever you guys want about me, but I'm very offended by that. And with that note, I will leave you. I'm very offended because no.
Wait, don't just quit. Wait, hang on. This is an important point. I think. Wait, hang on.
He didn't offend you in any way, just so you know.
The confusion here is this. The confusion here is this. Destiny's not saying that, oh, you've never been to his event or he's never given you free tickets. But typically when people say invested, they mean like they take their money from their bank account and put it in your business, right? So
to me, this is an investment. This is
it would be like me saying Bill Gates invested in my stream, and it's like Bill Gates gave me a free copy of Windows 11.
But
to be fair, it's not exactly like that. But the point is
that
we're using the word investment very differently than how most people view it. That's the confusion.
Well, for instance, another thing, he sent his media team to San Diego to train me for an entire day. That is, again, an investment. He doesn't just pick anyone. So I was trained in media by Tony Robbins' PR team and media team. He doesn't do that. Yes, one-on-one.
Okay,
I can show you the videos.
Okay, so explain this. What did they train you with?
Like this bullshit, answering stupid questions from people.
Well, it seems like that training wasn't too good.
No, the training is good because I'm standing against 3 white men. Or you're not white, Tony.
I'm not arguing against you. I'm moderating.
Why am I against you? See, you just attacked me.
I'm the moderator.
Because
I'm your friend. I'm your friend.
Is,
I'm here.
Listen,
hold on, Janelle. Just because somebody doesn't agree with what you say does not make that person someone who's attacking you, and that's the problem that all women have.
Women have.
True. That I don't like.
This
that's
is not
the biggest
about
problem women have. That the minute you don't agree with them, you're their enemy, and that's not true.
And you're
sexist. Because you don't agree, we're not. Nobody here is your enemy here.
It's not an opinion.
Well, I am.
You're laughing and making a mockery of someone.
I'm not laughing.
A very important part. Yeah, Destiny is, Tony. And he did say he is my enemy. Of a very important part, a person who wouldn't even talk to you, Destiny, and who took time and energy out of his work, a very famous individual, to invest in me. And you're making light of that. And that's not cool at all. especially for the women in the nonprofit
I don't
that I
think,
serve.
Janelle, you're missing the point. He's just trying to figure out how did he, listen, you said he invested in your organization. Not in you,
Yes.
but your organization.
And me, both
when
of
I
us.
say something, I always make sure I say something you could back up a tape and go, okay, yeah, that's what she said. But you
Correct.
said he invested in my organization. He's not disagreeing with you and saying to you that, oh, well, you know, not whatever you're saying is different. He's saying to you is what the way you're saying it is not an actual factual thing that
Well, it's how
or
I
the
took
right
it.
way to
It's
say
how
it.
I
All
see
he's
it.
saying to you is he
It's
didn't
how I
invest
see it.
in you. He didn't invest in your organization. He could have invested his time or whatever else in possibly, you know, helping
It's
you.
money.
but-
There's money.
but it's
There's
not-
time and money involved. And we raised 50,000 at his event. So that is money too from an event that he hosted where his people gave my organization $50,000.
Does
like
it?
I
Am
said,
I investing in you right now by having you on my
you
show?
are, and you are, and that's why I didn't. That's why I wanted to leave, because this is my energy and my time invested in someone who is just very much so very childlike behavior and very derogatory towards women, especially a woman.
I haven't heard anything derogatory from him.
Yeah, Janelle, to be fair, you're the one that wanted
I
this
think
debate.
that. What do you mean? He just said a minute ago he thinks I'm a scam. He thinks that I'm a fraud.
He didn't say that. Wait. He did not say
You
you're
said
a
I'm
scam.
not.
He said listen, Janelle. I'm going to side with the truth. You know, like, look, he did not say that. You're putting words. You're making words. I have to be honest about this. He said to you, okay, he believes, based on what you have said, based on what you're saying, based on the things that he's hearing, he believes it could be a scam. However, he's not sure, but it's going, in his belief, it's looking that way to him.
And that's great for him. And in my
But that
belief,
doesn't mean he's
things
agreeing
look
with
like he has
saying
a
that.
micro penis
Am
because
I
he
right
likes
or
to
wrong?
be pegged. So that's what I deduced for Destiny, that he has a micro penis because he likes to be pegged by his wife. And with that, I bid you farewell because my phone is dying.
But now
Thank you very much.
something about, hold on. Do you have a micro penis?
My dick has been leaked on the internet. I do not have a micro penis. If I did, everybody would be talking about it. Okay.
Dude, the funniest thing is that she was the one that wanted this debate. She reached out to me and said, "Hey, my buddy Tony wants to debate Destiny. Can you set it up?" And she's acting like she was like forced into this debate.
So she's here. She didn't. Her phone died.
It was literally.
She's here. Okay, so sit down and talk. Like
Okay.
let's figure this out, because
I mean,
I'm
Tony,
your
it's-
friend, and
I know.
I'm not disagreeing with. I'm just saying, look, I side with the truth. The reason I fight with my own mother, I fight with my own sister, because I believe my sister says some dumb shit, and I sometimes disagree with her, and you know, my whole family's upset at me because I side with I'm dating currently a girl. You know, I see a girl and she sides with her sister no matter what. I mean, her sister could say and she says family's thicker than da da da. I don't believe that. I believe the truth is the truth, and you talk the truth. You know, yeah.
A real friend tells their friend the truth.
I believe that some of the things that you're saying to him, and you guys are going over the top with certain things, but I think you guys are both agreeing on certain things.
We are.
I think
He
you
just
guys
doesn't
are
like
both.
the language that I'm using at times. But to me,
No, but that's because you are expressing yourself incorrectly.
I don't believe it. It is an investment. Just like me sitting here is an investment in my time and energy. Just like when I went on Bravo.
But you shouldn't have that mind frame.
But it is. I went on Bravo yesterday. Did I get paid what I normally get paid for a session? Absolutely
But
not.
that's irrelevant.
But no, it is irrelevant. It is relevant, Tony. Listen, because it was an investment in my time and energy to be on a very huge reality show on Bravo, where my work is going to be displayed for millions of people that watch Bravo. In my mind, that's a good investment, even though I didn't get paid what I normally would.
Okay, but look, I make a lot of money, and my time is very, very valuable.
I know it is.
But I'm not going to get on a show and talk about that sort of things, because those are really irrelevant. I'm going to focus on the actual show and talk about the actual show and my personal life and my personal whatever,
But
it
you're
should
not
be
being
irrelevant
attacked.
because I'm a very humble.
He attacked my business.
If
Darby.
he attacks me, if someone attacks me, forget him. If someone attacks me, okay? If someone attacks me, and I get attacked every day, I'm not saying I don't, but I'm very calm about it. I sit there and try to make common sense and defend myself using common sense very maturely, and I argue with them, and I don't argue with them, but I will go in debates with anyone and tell them my part or how I feel in a very mature way. The throwing rocks at each other, calling each other kids things, that's irrelevant. I think it's childish from both ends.
Tony, that's just because he likes. This is what his platform is. I never.
But
have
if
this
that is how
dialogue with
he
other
acts, you should be as a therapist, you should be more mature to not stoop in that level.
And I've tried very
Let
hard.
me redirect for a second. I'm sorry, but I think this is important because it's getting personal again. So one of the things, Janelle, that you said is that Destiny likes to get pegged. Now my question is, were you being hyperbolic and making a joke, or is that like?
They said that. They literally said
Who's
that.
hold on.
I'm going to tell you. Let me finish talking, darling.
Okay, go ahead.
They said that in the 4-hour interview with Fresh and Fit and Adam on Sauce that I was on that panel.
Who's they?
Melina said that she concurred. But
Who's Melina?
He doesn't know who Melina is. My wife.
Your wife said that you have a small dick.
No, pegging. The pegging.
What's pegging?
Pegging is where you fuck a guy in the ass with a strap
that's right.
on.
The pegging is some girl fuck you from behind, right?
Yeah, that's. Did this ever happen?
I don't think
I'm sorry,
so.
I don't know these terms because I.
Yeah, you're good. I'm pretty sure this has never happened because Melina has never pegged me. But that I'm not even. But I'm also
on camera. I don't know.
Okay,
why.
so do you guys hold on? Do you guys can you guys go back to footages from that show and show? Well, it doesn't matter if it's 4 hours, 2 hours, or 100 hours.
Yeah.
They can go back on that show and find that, and then if that was said, you have the right to ask him about those kind. But if that was not said, that is an attack to him from your side.
Wore heels?
Sure, why not? That's because she pegged their husband.
That answers
But
itself.
I date women, so that's
Okay,
well, and also to be clear, also I don't even have anything against it. Like if Melina super wanted to try it and it was like her birthday or something, I'd probably let her do it. I don't care. Like it's not even like I care about it. I just don't like the fact that she lies about it. It's just weird.
Don't lie. Like
He's on national TV saying I'm willing to get the ass from my wife. I mean, like he's not saying, he's being super honest. I love honest people like that. I love honesty.
About it. I just brought it up because when we were in the debate last time.
Yeah, you just lost 50% of my audience.
Okay, I suck dick. I'm bisexual. I don't think your audience likes me, bro.
No, a lot of them do. A lot of them do.
Wait. You suck too?
Yeah, I'm bisexual. Yeah, I'm a degenerate, dude.
There's no such thing as bisexual, but
Why isn't there bisexual? He fucks a girl.
He thinks I'm
He fucks a guy. That's bisexual.
Let me just say something to you, Tony.
But hold on, explain to me. I want to know as a therapist.
Yeah, I'm curious about it too. Why is there no such thing as
I'm not
bisexual?
smart, by the way, guys. I'm actually pretty dumb. Well, no, because I always consider myself not smart because I always want to learn. It's always want to learn. I want to learn why someone who fucks a guy and fucks a girl is not called bisexual.
I think, okay, first of all,
Okay.
before I answer that question, I want to.
While you guys do that, can you answer that? And then I'm gonna get a charger because my battery's done. Go ahead.
Okay.
I need to fucking drink.
Okay. Well, what I wanted to say was to him, so, yeah, but I really do have to go anyway, because I really do need to pack, unlike what you think.
You have 3 days. How does it take you 3 days?
I have, come on, this is my point. You guys are being very insensitive because it's not fair for you to, I don't think it's fair. And it's fair, you can do whatever you want. You're being insensitive. I don't know what your relationship is with your child's mom, but I have an 8-year-old. It's his first week in school. I have the child 24/7. The father lives in Europe, and I'm not going to discuss that. And I run an international business, even though you don't believe I do.
You just said you have a nanny. What are you talking about?
I don't have a full-time nanny. I have a nanny who's
full-time nanny,
right
bro.
now.
Come on, you're an insult to actual single moms that can't afford nannies. Don't sit here trying to lie and virtue signal with this bullshit. I'm with the child 24/7. You literally have a nanny. You have a nanny. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But
watching him right now, not 24/7, bro. No.
How? What does she work? 7 days a week at 6 hours a day, or 5 days a week, 8 hours a day?
She works when I have stuff like this.
No,
Okay.
she's not. She has a day job and she works for me when I need her sporadically. I take my son with me most places because I don't want him being cared for by randos.
So you think it's worse for your son to have an attendant babysitter than it is for you to tell him to shut the fuck up and go into the corner of a room while you're working on business stuff?
I don't tell him to shut the fuck up. My son's been to 14 countries. He's actually very well adjusted. I would say his emotional IQ is higher than yours, if I'm being honest.
That's another attack.
Yeah, because he's attacking me.
Wait, okay, wait. I want to.
I want to know what is your son doing in all these international business meetings?
It's not international business meetings. His father's from Europe, bruh. And so we go to Europe every year, so he gets cultured in Europe, and we visit a few countries. I do not appreciate this.
How old is your cultured high EQ son again?
I told you he's 8. You should know you're the same age emotionally.
Okay, I want to say something. Janelle, hang on. Everyone listen to the mod. Everyone listen to the mod. Hang on.
Have a good debate.
He has been. It's not fair for y'all
for
to sit in your glass houses.
Just stop for 1 second. Okay, I need to bring this up because it keeps happening over and over again. You gotta stop saying you guys. I'm the moderator. I'm not involved in this debate.
You're a white male. You're part of the problem.
Try to make sure that this conversation keeps going. I'm not taking any sides, right?
I don't want it to
debate.
because
I helped set it up, so I would appreciate if you don't put me in this you guys category.
Okay, fine, Alex. Fine, whatever. I'm being irrational because I'm a woman. There you go. You guys happy? Awesome. So,
Keep saying you guys.
okay, is everyone happy? Is the person happy that I'm speaking with? So, unlike you, I don't just sit around and I don't have hundreds of thousands of followers and I just sit around and teach people how to play. No, I actually work. I see clients. I take care of my son who started his first week of school. Blada, blada, blada. I have
How
the
are you
passport
seeing
retreat.
clients while taking care of your son?
He's in school from 8 to almost 3 o'clock. What are you talking about? I line up my clients when he's in school.
Okay, so you have wait. That's true. So your son is going to school, and you still have a part-time nanny. It was weird that you're like, I'm with him 24/7.
She comes when I need her to. She hasn't worked with me for 2 months. I know. It's just stupid.
Can we move to a different conference room so I can plug in my phone? My battery's about to die.
Yeah, sure. Be careful, our kid's not in there in the corner just hanging out.
He's just. It's
Okay,
just
so what? Can we call you back or do you want to?
You can.
I just stay on the phone. Hold on. No, here. I'm just gonna go to a different office.
I told you it was gonna be a fun debate, Destiny. I told you. What were exact words? This is gonna be an epic debate. I don't know why I'm being clumped in with you guys. I'm just literally moderating debate here. I'm not taking any sides.
Literal white male.
We're talking about Destiny. I don't have any issues with you, Alex.
I know, but you just keep saying you guys.
For me to be in a room with 3 men who are, you're not white, Tony, but you have blonde hair, so you keep throwing me off. And you're kind of like for a Persian, let's just be honest.
So when you say you guys, you just mean Destiny, but you keep saying you guys.
And it's just, first of all, and I want to say this to you, because I do love you, and I do care about you.
I care for you as a friend too.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
shit.
not sexually if the girlfriend's watching, because I know she's a psycho.
I have girlfriends.
Girlfriends, whatever. The one that you mentioned, no. But the thing is, and Dr. Barr's our mutual friend, who I work with in my fake business, by the way, Destiny.
It sounds more fake every time you talk about it, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just don't think that it's fair that you to say, I don't want to be tagged in this, when you have, like you said, you've been very public. I don't know what your net worth is. I don't care to know that you make a lot of money and that you have a huge platform and that you're like, I don't care if I'm tagged. Of course you don't care if you're tagged.
Whoa, Tony said that, not me. Damn, Tony said that. Don't put that ill will on me, okay? That came from him.
Okay. So you do very well and you work very hard and you're very smart because you wouldn't have gotten there if you weren't.
Oh,
so first of all, I'm talking about him, not you, Destiny. So I'm saying that this is something, but I think that you guys, this is the problem. One of the problems with men, I feel like you get desensitized because you deal with women who are assholes. And when a woman like myself, who's very nurturing, who's very feminine, who works really hard, who does the right thing, who encourages her son's father, who is mentally not fully there, to be in her son's life, which is something most women don't do today, right? They don't do that. And then for you to be so insensitive that you're like,
so far removed from reality because of your net worth and because of your status that you're like, I don't care to be tagged. Why are you tripping about a tag? I'm running a business and you met my son.
Right.
Who you keep insulting, which I do take that to heart.
Wait, me or Tony? Tony's not insulting your son, is he?
No, you have been. And
I haven't met your son, have I?
Yes, you have. You insulted him a few times. Where's this?
I don't insult anyone. I don't insult anyone. I defend myself, but I will not insult anyone.
And that's my point.
That's just me. It's just me. I mean, look, I could think very negative things about someone sucking someone's dick as a man, but I won't insult you.
Oh, well,
I would never insult you. I would never ever insult you. That's, you know, and nor would I make a negative opinion of you. You know, that's just me as a person. You know, I have a cousin that's gay. I know a lot of people who are bisexual and gay, and everyone has the right to live the way they live. And that's one of the things I always argue about is, look, I don't judge other people, and I see a lot of people judging me. I just don't think, I think if all people in general stop judging and live their life for who they are and become a better person for and do better things in society, that just makes it better for everyone.
Well said, Tony. I do want to redirect to this. So, and I agree with everything you said, by the way. Janelle said earlier that you can't be bi. What could she expand on that?
Hold on, 1 second. This is my nanny.
Listen, I've lost
lost my wife. Okay. Communist Sweden. The conservatives were right. Okay. So Sweden, the communist country of Sweden. Okay. Not only are their taxes f***ing insane, all right, which is whatever. You get a lot of services. That's okay. Not only are their taxes insane. Melina and I have been struggling to sort out like everything going on for the past 2 or 3 years. It's difficult to figure out like where does she have to pay taxes to, where, like how do we account, blah blah blah. It's been a f***ing nightmare. So for the taxes, we've paid all the taxes, everything, for the last 3 years in Sweden, and for the last 2 years in the United States. Okay. I have paid all the taxes owed as though Melina is taxed as a U.S. citizen, or my wife, basically. And I've manually paid. I just wired another 100,000 USD to the Swedish goddamn IRS like 2 or 3 months ago to give them their pound of flesh that I thought I was getting back. My expectation is that money is coming back once they sort out all of her bull, because she shouldn't be paying taxes in 2 places. Okay? So I felt like her last tax guy was not up to snuff. So I had a fan actually reach out to me, got her part of a Big Five, like, international accounting firm, and now we're working with that, thank God. So hopefully I get that 100,000 back. Because we've paid over like 250,000 together in taxes to Sweden, okay? Like 200,000, 250,000 USD, okay? Holy shit, all right? So during this process, Melina flies back to Sweden. She shows up for her little IRS bookkeeping. Oh, Big Four, maybe not Big Five. Okay, listen, I'm from Nebraska. It was the Big 10 when I was there. Okay? Yeah. Well, actually, it was Big 12 and not Big 10. But she has her little meetings to set up her shit. She's responding to all of her emails. You know, she's making her meetings. We do our tax appointments. We pay the money. We've paid a lot of money. And then she had a meeting yesterday, and for whatever reason, the prosecutor is like now considering indicting her for fraudulent books, and they seized her f***ing passport. So now she can't leave the country or come back to the United States. And now she's looking at possible criminal charges for what? Like, in my mind, in the US of A, in the United States of America, when you're self-employed, almost, it might actually be every time. I might be 100% of the time. In the United States, if you f up your taxes the first year as a self-employed person, as long as you write a letter to the IRS and you say, hey, listen, like, I'm kind of figuring shit, so I f***ed it up. In my personal experience, and from whatever I've heard from any other accountant, they will always forgive, not interest, but they'll always waive penalties and fees for your first year. They always do that, because people always f up their shit when you're self-employed. They always do that. And then in Sweden, I guess, they just assume you're engaged in, like, fraudulent, like, willful tax evasion. And, yeah, holy shit. Or fraudulent bookkeeping. The guy said it was a bookkeeping charge, because I just talked to the lawyer. That's what I was talking to an hour ago, because I'm like, what the f is happening right now? And I don't know why they would think to charge her and seize her passport when, one, she's explicitly in the country right now to make these meetings. It's not like she's just like skipping all the meetings. And then, two, we've paid these people over 200,000 USD in taxes. She has like a f***ing 60% effective tax rate. It's f***ing insane. And we're paying tax to the United States while it's getting sorted out. So, like, we've given them the money. She's meeting the meetings. She's in the country for the meetings. Holy f***. The biggest stress, and this is some war, because, like, if she's doing, you know, if she has to stay in Sweden for a few more months to figure it out, that's fine. But the biggest stressor is that if for some reason there's some actual formal trial and she's got to do some shit, if she's out of the country for more than a year, she's gonna lose her fucking green card, and then I'm gonna lose my mind, because that was a 4-year fucking process to get her green card. And once you've got a green card as a U.S. citizen, you can't spend a year
out of the country, you're not a citizen. I'm sorry, you're not a citizen yet, you're a permanent resident. You'll lose your residency and they'll revoke your green card. And I'm pretty sure you have to go through the entire process over again. Destiny, you should be getting a foreign tax credit. No, so your tax in the US should be 0. The tax in Sweden should be 0 because we're paying them in the US and she lived in the US. But apparently, so here's like a really weird thing. If you're a European, you're not going to understand this. But in the United States, you don't really exist anywhere or in any database as like a person that exists in an area. I don't know why or how, and I noticed this when we were doing things for Melina, where it's like, because I would ask, like, oh, like, they're like, do we need to get a name change for Melina? And everyone's like, well, what's her name? And it's like, I don't know. Like, don't you guys have like a record of that? Something like, no, just give us her passport. It's like, you don't have like she's not like registered as a human being. And it's like, the US like doesn't really do that. We have social security numbers attached names, but in like other countries, I think in Europe, it's more common that like a person will be written into an area where it's like, oh, like this person's first and last name lives in this area. We know that. And in the US, we don't have anything like that. We have no like registrar of people. Like even our census is like every 2 years. I think we just mail all the houses. We're like, we think you live here because of IRS records. Like fill some shit out. But one of the challenges with Sweden was we didn't realize, or Melina didn't realize, how the fuck would I know, that when she moved to the US, you have to actually write yourself out of the United States. Or, I'm sorry, you've got to write yourself out of Sweden as having moved out. It's not like in the US where so we've done that now retroactively. We've got an actual CPA that's like working on this. But part of the tax code is like, oh, you're trying to write yourself out of the country. Now we know you're up to no good. And it's like, bro, are you serious? Holy shit. But Jesus, it's actually so, it's just so, it's unbelievable. Won't she not be landing in the US if she has a criminal record in Sweden? I don't know for taxes. I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is stuff right now. You can stay outside the country for more than a year if you apply for a re-entry permit. I don't know if that's the case. I have to go look it up again. I think you can get a re-entry permit, but I think you run the risk of losing your residency if you're out of the country for more than a year, unless you have a really good reason. But I need to go look it up, I think. You might be able to get back in with a permit, but I don't know if you maintain your permanent resident status, because they consider you as like an abandoned person, basically. I'm so confused. Hasn't her father lived outside the country for work for long periods? Yeah, but I'm sure that her father has like an employer. Her father works for the Swedish police department, so they probably handle all the paperwork for that themselves. I doubt her dad has to like manually do any of this shit, you know? I'm so confused. They're mad at Melina because she paid too much in taxes. So I talked to the lawyer. Apparently some prosecutors don't like the influencer shit, and they like look down on it. And apparently, I don't know if this is true, but Melina and her dad tell me, so I take it on their word. A lot of the systems in Sweden are incredibly archaic. Now, again, I'm just repeating my friend. I don't know if this is true, but supposedly in Sweden too, there are like some people, like when you pay bills, you still have to like do it like by mail and shit. That like not all of the parts of the government and everything are as like online or accessible as you'd like them to be. Again, I'm not sure 100% that's true. Melina and her family told me that. I've heard a couple other Swedish people say, I don't know 100%, yeah. But.
So, F Extra Life, that is a notorious embedder that damages the entire Twitch community and is a parasite on the platform that I have called out, has issued a statement defending themselves. Let's read it. We don't normally get involved with drama, as the whole purpose of these posts is to create responses like this one and farm people for outrage content. However, given the horrible and absurd nature of the accusations, we want to set the record straight with our community. Please read here. Okay, important. Holy fuck, they read this whole thing? Oh my god, alright, Jesus. Alright, let's knock this out. Jesus, holy fuck, what are you writing all this for? Just stop embedding. I made F Extra Life because I wanted to give people who play these games, regardless of their busy lives, growing families, or lack of experience, understanding mechanics. I love gaming. Well, you also love gaming the system, so you can talk and try to make a personal appeal as much as you want. But I really don't give a fuck. I don't think anybody else does either. You think the other people that are streaming don't love gaming? You think everybody else that's trying to stream, oh, they don't love gaming, but you do? Get the fuck out of here. What a pathetic thing to say. Let's go ahead and read the rest of it. Few days ago, we were made aware that a moderator on the small subreddit Baldur's Gate 3 Builds, who also writes content for small Baldur's Gate wiki site, is marketing himself as F Extra Life Alternative, announced via Sticky that he would be banning our domain because he suspected there was a bot campaign manipulating posts. He allegedly conducted a test. Nobody can tell whether that happened or not. So based on nothing but his own bias and zero evidence of our involvement, he decided publicly to say that we lean towards it being bots manipulating, and tell his community that he wanted to ban links of us, and if anyone tried to post a link, he would post an auto reply telling them that F Extra Life is banned for vote manipulation, instead linking his own wiki. Well, I don't know if this is true. You know, they're right that it is not a guarantee that they were botting on Reddit, but I would assume that the person that's botting on Twitch is also botting on Reddit because they bot. Now, I wouldn't commit to this, but I would assume it to be true. So let's see here. It's very hurtful to me to see stuff like this that assume or it's very hurtful to me to see stuff that people assume or take at face value. It seems like you can accuse anyone of things on Reddit and get people riled up and assume that it's the truth. Of course. Well, why can't you just do the same and tell people the truth of why you're view-botting? Here's the truth of it. We didn't do any of this. There's literally zero evidence of us to do any of this. There's no evidence of us doing it. Okay. I mean, I don't know if they did it or not. Here's why people think they did it. It's because the site sucks. Like, is F Extra Life a good resource and a good website to find information on? I think most people say no. So whenever you spend all of your time optimizing your search, your search results and making sure that you're on the front page and you get the top search result for every single time that you go and post something, and then your resource is bad, we wouldn't be having this conversation if they had a better wiki, okay? We probably wouldn't. That's the reason why people shit on them. It's actually, they don't care about vote manipulation on Reddit. They care about the quality is not that good. Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 F Extra Life wiki is ass. Yeah, there you go. His first Souls game, it was crazy accurate and in-depth. I'm sure they have good ones too. I mean, I'm sure not every single one is bad, for sure. But in general, I think it's because people perceive the quality of the website to be low, and that's why they're negative about it. Let's see here. I did not ask anyone in my community to interact with any subreddit posts. I definitely don't have any Reddit posts. I didn't even know Reddit bots were a thing. You didn't even know Reddit bots were a thing? Are you stupid? How the fuck do you not know Reddit bots are a thing? I never made a negative post about their wiki. I actually don't use Reddit. Okay. And the idea that Reddit is good for SEO traffic is coming from people that don't know how things work. Otherwise, the consistent sticky topics and promotion links from Reddit moderators would control the entire internet. Reddit accounts for less than 1% of our traffic because people are using Reddit not to get in-depth guides off of a site or already decided. Reddit is actually tremendous for traffic, and she is simultaneously right. Reddit mods posting links isn't very good because people usually don't click on sticky links, but something getting very popular on Reddit will absolutely make it very popular on another website. Like, for example, think about how many streamers gained popularity through LSF, and LSF is Reddit. So what are we really talking about here? If Reddit isn't popular and Reddit wasn't good for promotion, then why are sponsors paying for Reddit promotion? Why are they buying ads on that platform? Well, it's because it matters. Obviously, Reddit matters. And if it really didn't matter, why would it matter if there were a bunch of people on a website that didn't matter that were saying stuff bad about you? It's not like she's writing this post about people talking bad about her on 4chan. Because it actually doesn't make a difference. So let's see here. Our main competitors are Fandom, IGN, Games, PC Gamers. These are really giant sites with hundreds of millions of USD budget. F Extra Life is just Fex and Cass. Tira and Yuria, volunteer contributors. That's how disgusting and unethical it would be. I would strongly condemn and denounce any action done in our name. So now we're making an ethical. Now we're making like an ethical appeal to like morality here. How disgusting, unethical that would be. So what's the logic here in your botting likes? So like somehow it's unethical to bot likes on Reddit, but it's not unethical to bot likes. Bot views on Twitch? What? Like, you shouldn't even use ethical in your statement. Why would you even do this? Bro, you decided, even before reading, to be biased? I am biased because I know that